Let's go Ravens! Something is happening at the Baltimore Ravens facilities that fans aren't fully seeing yet, but the signs are already there. Behind the scenes, during a practice with limited media access, a new identity is beginning to emerge, and it may be very different from anything we've seen in recent years. There's a change in mentality, a change in energy, and most importantly, a group of rookies already pushing the limits from day one. And if these early signs are real, we may be witnessing the foundation of something special even before the season begins. But before I explain all that, like this post right now if you truly believe in this team and the direction it's taking. And I want you to do one more thing, go to the comments and write, I believe this team will surprise everyone this season. Let's see how many Ravens fans are still optimistic in supporting this team, no matter what happens. Because what I'm about to tell you might change the way you see this whole group of newcomers. Even without full media access, the internal observations from day one already highlight something important. The physical presence of this rookie class is undeniable. One of the biggest talking points right away was Wenger Yuan. According to early impressions, he looks physically ready to contribute immediately. We're talking about a player described with tree trunks for arms and legs, someone who moved well and had no issues getting to the second level in drills. That's exactly what you want to hear when you invest heavily in the offensive line. There's already a sense that he could stabilize and elevate this unit moving forward. And right alongside him, Zion Young is already making noise, not just physically, but emotionally. His frame immediately stood out, drawing comparisons to elite pass rush builds, and his energy is something that jumped off the field even before full contact situations. On one of the first 11-on-11 reps, he burst into the backfield to disrupt a run. That's the kind of instinct and explosiveness that translates. But what really tells you about his mindset? Celebrating a defensive play from across the field while doing individual drills. That's culture. That's engagement. That's a player fully locked in from day one. Now shifting to the offensive weapons, Jacoby Lane delivered what many are calling the best catch of the day. Not just one highlight, but multiple strong receptions, including a difficult grab on a throw behind him. That consistency matters. Meanwhile, Elijah Sarrett showed something equally intriguing, quickness and explosiveness despite his bigger frame, especially working underneath routes and turning them into gains across the field. That versatility could become very valuable in this system. In the backfield, Adam Randall is another name that stood out physically. The comparison being thrown around is a young Gus Edwards, which immediately tells you what kind of runner we might be looking at. Size, strength, downhill presence, those traits don't go unnoticed, especially in a Ravens offense that has always valued physicality. Defensively, there's already production from unexpected places. Undrafted linebacker Reed Williford made an early interception with strong awareness, while safety Silas Walters managed to grab not one, but two interceptions, energizing the entire defensive unit. That's how you earn attention quickly as an undrafted player, by making plays that force coaches to take notice. And speaking of coaching, the pace of practice under Jesse Minor is another major storyline. Fast transitions between drills, high expectations, and a clear demand for focus. That matches perfectly with what Zay Flowers later described as a different energy, calm confidence, but very much about business. When players feel that shift, it usually means the message from leadership is being received loud and clear. There are also symbolic changes happening. Jersey numbers might seem small, but they tell a story. Zion Young taking number 9 represents a complete identity shift for that number, moving from a legendary specialist to a high-intensity defensive presence. Jacoby Lane wearing number 6, Elijah Sarrett in 13, and Wenger Yuan in 71 all feel like natural fits that fans will quickly associate with their playing style. These details start to build familiarity and connection between players and the fan base. Another key development is that nearly the entire rookie class is already signed, with Zion Young being the only exception, and that's more about league-wide contract structure trends than any internal issue. He's present, he's practicing, and everything points to that situation resolving in due time. And as we continue breaking this down, there's something even more important happening behind the scenes that Ravens fans cannot ignore. This isn't just about a few flashy plays on day one. This is about how quickly this entire rookie group is adapting to the standard being set inside the building. Because from everything we're hearing, the tempo, the discipline, and the expectations are already at a completely different level. When you look at the undrafted class, for example, it's not just about filling roster spots. There are 19 players coming in, and several of them are already forcing their names into conversations. Quarterbacks Diego Pavia and Joe Fernando step into a room where every rep matters. On the offensive line, names like Diego Pounds, Trayvon Sylvester, and Nick Dawkins add depth and competition to a unit that clearly needed reinforcement. And at running back, Dante McMillan and Elijah Tao are entering a system where physicality is non-negotiable. But what stands out the most is how quickly defensive players are making plays. Reed Williford and Silas Walters didn't just participate, they produced turnovers. That's the fastest way to climb a depth chart. And when you combine that with the presence of players like Dion Wilson Jr., Aaron Graves, and Ethan Burke on the defensive line, you start to see a pattern forming. This team is loading up on aggressive, high-motor defenders who fit the identity being built. And then there's the subtle but important layer of competition created by jersey numbers and role identity. These rookies aren't walking into empty spaces, they're stepping into numbers, expectations, and in some cases, legacies. Zion Young wearing number 9 isn't just a change, it's a statement about a new era of intensity tied to that number. The same goes for players like Chandler Rivers wearing 29, a number that still carries recent memory for fans, creating immediate pressure to perform and redefine it in his own way. You can also feel how connected this group already seems. The reaction from Zay Flowers is not something you overlook. When a key offensive player says the energy is different, that the coach brings calm confidence but is strictly about business, that tells you the locker room is buying in early. And when players mention that everyone, from Lamar to the defense, is aligned with that mindset, it signals something bigger than just off-season optimism. It suggests cultural alignment. Another critical piece here is timing. With almost the entire rookie class already signed and on the field, these players are getting valuable early reps while other teams around the league are still dealing with contract delays. That matters. Development starts now, not in training camp. Every rep, every drill, every correction, it all adds up. And for a team with clear ambitions of competing deep into the postseason, that early cohesion can be the difference. What's also interesting is how quickly fans are starting to connect with this class. Whether it's the physical dominance of Venga Yuan, the explosive mindset of Zion Young, or the playmaking flashes from Jacoby Lane and Elijah Sarrett, there's already a sense that this group could contribute sooner than expected. Not just in rotational roles, but in meaningful moments. And that brings us to the bigger picture. The Ravens aren't just rebuilding or reloading, they're refining. They identified key needs, added physical talent, brought in players with the right mentality, and paired them with a coaching approach that demands urgency. Day one of minicamp doesn't guarantee success, but it absolutely sets the tone. And right now, that tone feels aggressive, focused, and very intentional. So as we look ahead to day 2, where there will be more access, more direct player reactions, and more detailed evaluations, one thing becomes very clear: this rookie class is not here to wait. They're here to compete right now. And this is where things start to get really interesting, because once you move past the first impressions and highlight plays, the real battle begins, the fight for roles, for reps, and ultimately for a spot on the 53-man roster. What we're seeing right now is just the surface. Underneath, there's a level of competition building that's going to define how far this team can go. Think about it. You already have rookies making plays on day 1, undrafted guys forcing turnovers, and established players publicly buying into the new coaching energy. That combination creates pressure across the entire roster. Veterans can't afford to coast. Young players can't afford mistakes. Every single practice rep starts to matter just a little